Hello, my name is Sasha Truscott, and my 2020 presentation is about child sexual abuse. It will cover the definition of child sexual abuse, the prevalence, how to respond to victims, and how different sectors can help end this abuse. Thank you very much for your time. I hope this presentation is informative to you. So this slide is an overview of child sexual abuse. It is defined as sexual activity with a minor, aka someone under 18 years old. These activities can include exposing oneself, fondling, intercourse, producing pornographic images, and others. These are considered abuse because the child cannot consent to any form of sexual activity. Here I have listed many common myths about child sexual abuse. They are: child sexual abuse only occurs among strangers, children provoke sexual abuse by their seductive behavior, the majority of child sexual abuse victims tell someone about the abuse, men and women sexually abuse children equally, and family sexual abuse only happens in low-income families. The prevalence of child sexual abuse is high. 1 in 4 girls are victims and 1 in 20 boys are victims. For victims, most predators were someone that the victim knew, so a coach, a parent, a friend. Exposure rates grew for both boys and girls between age 15 and 17, so were higher in the late teens right before they turned 18. Some important facts about child sexual abuse include: more children are sexually abused than are neglected. Most victims never report their abuse. Foster children are 10 times more likely to be abused, and 70% of all sexual assaults occur to children under 18. So that means that they are a child who is being abused. Next, we have some information about predators. 95% of sexually abused children are abused by someone that they know, so as before, it was a coach, someone else's parent, an uncle, an aunt. 50% of molesters are family members, so uncle, aunt, sibling, parent. 40% of perpetrators are older children, sibling could be, and 9% of perpetrators are male. So how perpetrators work is that they gain the trust of the children, and they use a process called grooming, which includes gaining the trust, filling a need of the child, lowering the child's inhibitions, and initiating abuse. This is only one way that perpetrators work, though, so keep that in mind. And then immediate effects on the children include they may exhibit aggressive behavior, they may have disturbances with their sleep pattern and their eating habits, they may have fear and anxiety issues, and they are at higher risk for re-victimization. And there are also many other effects. These are just a few of the immediate effects on children. And then long-term effects include some, none, or all of these effects. It just depends on the person. And they include alcoholism, drug abuse, anxiety, traumatic sexualization, being suicidal, and becoming mistrustful of adults. And there are many other effects as well as there were for short-term effects. Then disclosure. Victims disclose their stories in various ways. Some might disclose accidentally or may be prompted by certain questions. There may be behavior changes as well, and the memories of their abuse can be triggered by information or by movies, and just remember to be understanding when someone discloses to you that they've been abused. And there may be a delay in disclosure because the victim, for many reasons, and some can include the victim may not want their perpetrator to be taken away from them because it could be a parent or someone close to them that they love and they don't want to be without them. They may also be in denial or confusion, so they don't know how to disclose this information. And around 53% of victims have this delayed disclosure. And so how you respond is really important to the victim, and you should tell them that you believe them and that they were brave to tell you. You should not ask too many questions because how you respond determines a person's recovery, and you don't want to question them if this is real and what they're telling is the truth. And then some tips for parents to help stop child sexual abuse include being involved in your children's life, getting to know adults that will interact with your child, such as teachers, coaches, and babysitters, so you can be aware if there may be issues with them, and be aware of warning signs and help your child if they are a victim, and understand that it's not your fault or your child's fault if they are a victim. And then for the legal side, remember that perpetrators are also parents, so jail is not always the best option for punishment. It may add another ACE score to your child, which we'll discuss later. Make children comfortable when they go to trial or jail by using children's advocacy centers to limit the number of people children will have to talk to, which is extremely important. And then for faith-based leaders, I recommend that you take the Darkness to Light training. Also, screen members of your organization before they join, and increase the ratio of employees to youth. I also want you to not put blame on faith-based organizations, but to understand that the history behind the blame, like in the movie Spotlight. And then child sexual abuse has been in movies such as Spotlight, and many famous actors that we all know and celebrities have been victims of child sexual abuse. Just to name a few, they include Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Queen Latifah, Maya Angelou, and Reese Witherspoon. It happens to everyone, so do not blame yourself if you are a victim or if you know a victim. Then, how to prevent child sexual abuse? These are not the only ways to prevent child sexual abuse, they're just some ideas. So, you can raise awareness, educate policymakers on the intensity of the issue, become aware of warning signs, complete darkness light training, and believe anyone that tells you that they've been abused to help them recover. And the relation that child sexual abuse has to this course is that it is an adverse childhood experience. Being a victim gives you an ACE score of at least 1. These children are now at risk to receive a higher ACE score later in life. And having an ACE score, as we all know, leads to poor health outcomes. And if you want to, you can research ACEs to become more informed on this issue. Then, dear parents, here's my personal dear parents picture that was about corporal punishment. And these types of photos can be used for child sexual abuse and can be used as a way to spread awareness. They are simple and effective. Using them, celebrities can also help spread them to a larger audience, and they're simple to use for all celebrities. And then here are my references that I've used for this 2020 presentation. Thank you very much for listening about child sexual abuse. It is such an important issue that we all need to focus on, especially being in this course. So thank you so much, and I hope you all found this important information